main thing. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. I've got a couple of new strategies to learn about as well, which I'm going to put in the course. I'm going to try and do those over Christmas because obviously it's going to be extremely slow, so I'm going to have a little bit more time. But right, let's go through. So just to let everyone know, the chat is on, so feel free, message in, say hi. Um, it is on, so I'll just get everybody in and then we can get started. Right. There we go. Okay. So there we go. I just wanted to make sure the chat was working because it was quiet. But hello, Gary. Right. So let's have a look at what has been happening. All right. So let me just get rid of this. Everything's pinging off at me at the moment. I've got tabs flying up everywhere from Zoom. Um, right. There we go. Morning, 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 morning. Right, I'm gonna go through, and then yeah, make sure you've got your questions ready. Alfie, did you fix the roof? No, to be honest, it needs. It's not even my roof. So basically, there's a lady who's got a roof terrace. Yeah, and it just wasn't built properly. So they're going to do a temporary fix at the weekend tomorrow, hopefully, and then they're going to do. They're going to have to replace this whole terrace in January, but. It is when it is, you can't change stuff like this, so no point getting stressed. Right. What have we gone in for today? So, US dollar has actually swung. All right, momentum has changed. Let's obviously go through this from yesterday. So yesterday, there we go. So they've obviously got lower inflation. They obviously had increased jobless claims. On the outside, it doesn't look great, but I think the main thing that the market, and sometimes it takes a bit of a while, the main thing that the market is grabbing hold of is that inflation is dropping. And it dropped quite heavily from 3% to 2.7%. Well, that means they've got everything under control, or they're getting everything under control. I know that jobs aren't great, but that will come after. But it means there's not so much pressure on the Fed in regards to the interest rate cuts. All right, because if you cut interest rates, it's obviously it increases spending, but it decreases investment in the country. So, you don't want to have them cut too low for too long, because, it's, yeah, do you know what? We, speak about it, make jokes about Jerome Powell and everything, but obviously it's a really hard job, um, and so, but yes, but basically, the overall kind of sentiment, macro sentiment is that they've got it a bit under control, so they don't need to rush, or they're not under as much pressure to reduce interest rates. So that's obviously what everyone is kind of looking at, and that's why the dollar's making a last ditch 2025 run. So we're going to have to obviously wait and see what happens. But I think that yeah, we should see this. I think 99 area hit probably hopefully before Christmas. We've still got a few days next week, but obviously that's why our sentiment has changed. So top trade of or top kind of outlook was AUD USD. Hasn't triggered yet. Just want this one to trigger, and then we can continue. As you can see here, trend is starting to change. It's been holding. Every single pair's had a big consolidation at the top, which normally means that it's not going to push much higher. Remember, you know, everyone at any time is trying to buy or sell something at a bargain. All right. Now, if this happens, it means that AUD USD isn't worth buying, to obviously, send it higher. So what ends up happening, everyone, starts to close, and obviously this is what then gives the kind of pivotal turn here. So we'll wait and see. Currently, the 200 EMA is holding, but I think this is going to break. I liked obviously this area, as you can see, even when it dropped down, massive liquidity here to push it back up. Now we've broken through this area. We've tested it. I would just like to come in and tap this, but I wonder if this EMA is going to be too strong. So let's wait and see. But that was a top, kind of overall outlook trade. Second was GBP USD, I think. That was, yep, still obviously not triggered. Very, very close. Very, very, similar. Everything's been consolidating at the top. This one's been swinging heavy. Mainly because obviously there was an interest rate decision, I think, yesterday. They, obviously did reduce interest rates, and there was no one voted for a rate hike. So yeah, it's that's obviously quite a positive and hawkish outlook from the Bank of England, which is the only thing that worries me about this. However, I do not think it can push any higher. I think if it would have, yesterday was the day after this candle here at 12 to break through and to continue. So as we've tested this high three times, I can't see it breaking. So that was that one. Euro USD, similar. Want this just to come up into this area. You can see there's lots of volume here. So hoping this just comes up and taps into this area and then rejects to the downside. And we'll do gold last. USD JPY. I've decided to leave this one out. My entry level would have been here. It was already up here, and I cannot see it coming down into this area, so I didn't really see the point in posting it. And then gold has been trying to break. If yesterday didn't break it, like we said, smash through, come straight back in. We actually caught this move here yesterday, which is brilliant. But obviously, yeah, I think we're going to see a bit of a die off here, potentially into this 4245 area. But let's wait and see. But no, dollar is the overall outlook here. It's broken cleanly. So 98,500 now is clean support. So let's wait and see. Could we be coming up to test this 99? That's Can you guys not hear me? Can you guys hear me okay? I just want to check you guys can hear me. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I just checked the chat and thought I've been speaking for like 12 minutes, and yeah, no one, if no one could hear me, it's going to be a long 12 minutes. Yeah, right, right. So yeah, that's my kind of anticipation. If we got, yields, we obviously want to see these, start to rise. Potentially they could do over the next couple of days. Well, not tomorrow because it's the weekend, but over the next few days because yeah, if there is this optimism that, it's going to be a good investment to invest into, the US, then yields should be hit a bit hard. But you've got to remember the time of year. How any investment funds work. They don't get a lot of holiday. All right, so Christmas is one time, markets closing. So then no one's going to be looking to make any big investments from, now. If anything, they're going to be looking to offload off the table. So just yeah, just be aware of it. But no, you know what, guys, I think we've done really, really well for December. I'm really happy. Um, I think that yeah, we've I think Navigate's had it well. We've not had these crazy moves that we would have had previously. But yeah, it's been steady. We've obviously got gold, which is in some good profit. I can see this starting to die to the downside here. Just to make everyone aware, what I'm going to do today. What I'm going to do today is I am going to. I've closed out on the challenge account, the 1K. I can tell you what it is. I'll post in the group. It's at so profit wise this week's massive $729 and 60. So I'm probably going to stop trading it. And what I'm going to do, rather than giving it away to just one person, I'm going to give it away to two. So I will put in the group, how you can win, but obviously you got twice as much chance to win. We've already had two winners. I'm not going to let someone win twice because it's not fair. So yeah, there is a very, very good chance, and obviously I will send that out to whoever wins tomorrow. Right, James. With yesterday's gold trade, when it triggered at 4315, it dropped all the way down to 4308-ish. Did you hold and how do a small account deal with such a drop? Yesterday, I don't think yesterday was. So let me just get it on here just to remind myself. But we were buying yesterday. I don't think it because I had it open on both accounts. So I had it open on zero point 0.2 lots on the smaller one, and then I had it open on um, as normal. So it was at 4320 to 43285 yesterday. So I think we took, if I just set this one up, it triggered yesterday around here. It was at 4320. Mine triggered. That was yesterday. And then 4320, and it was no, so sorry, it was 428, yeah, 4320, and then we got 4385 was the TP, and then obviously stop loss was 4265, 4265. That was obviously where it was yesterday. But obviously we all took profit around here, So it was basically the initial announcement pushed gold up, and obviously that was our kind of test here about whether it was going to continue or not. And obviously we've tested this area one, two, three, four times. I think GBP is just about to trigger. But yeah, we tested this one, two, three, four times. I do think this is going to continue to the downside, but obviously we have to remember December is slow. All right, so it's slow. One of the questions I had yesterday actually was AUD USD. We took a loss. Well, actually, you would have ended up in profits. I don't think it would have hit so stop loss, but at one point it was like 19 pips in drawdown if you hadn't have closed it. But gold was so at the same time, gold was so 320 is here. So gold at the same time it was 19 pips. Gold was about 400. All right. Now I get it because it used to be, me, but what ends up happening is gold comes into a bit of profit and then everyone will close it. But then they will let AUD USD come into, huge loss, right? But if you'd have, imagine just on the scale of, things, right? If I was to show you an example and why, so if we've got like our 19, say we got I'm going to show you on AUD USD. All right. So I'm going to have to go very, very low here. Right. So we've got, for example, 19 pip loss is this. Yeah. Right. Now I'm going to show you 300 on gold. All right. So that's the equivalent. And this is quite interesting actually because it's how gold, moves in comparison. Obviously, why your lot sizes need to be different. Gold actually moved 500 pips. All right, and then now you can see now how crazy it is. That this should be which it was for which it would have been for me if I'd have held it. But obviously, this is completely insignificant here in regards to this. Yeah. So, but obviously, what ends up happening is everyone ends up closing gold out here, and and obviously that is that is what is what's the kind of what you need to think about. So this is I've never actually drawn it like this, but obviously that was the equivalent of the gold move in profit yesterday and the AUD move in loss. Skid. That was going to be my question. Yes, yesterday selling AUD but buying gold when the two are linked. They are and they aren't. But you obviously have to look at. I'm going to get rid of this now because it's annoying me. Um, they are and they aren't. They are pretty much linked, but obviously gold is not going to be the only thing that's going to move AUD, and obviously AUD compared to everything else, structure was changing yesterday, and obviously that is why I liked the idea of it, selling off, which is what happened. We were just ever so, not even early because I think our stop loss was up here, so but obviously I think we entered about here. So yeah, I was happy, but it's more the overall kind of structure. Is the US dollar overtaking Aussie? And obviously that is how you've always got to look at it. Imagine like I don't know if you used to play like trump cards as a as a kid, but obviously trump cards is yeah, you want to try and work out all the little trumps, and um, how it's yeah, which one's gonna beat the other one, economy wise all the time. So yeah, that's obviously one thing that you wanted to do. Michael, what lot sizes should I use on a 2K account? Well, that is, that's obviously depends on your skid used to still do play trump cards. So lot size on a 2K all depends on your, risk. All right. So, and it all depends on where you're willing, prepared to take a stop loss, so for example, if it was, somewhere like here, you might be trading like zero point 0.1, whereas if it was like here, you could trade, five lots because your equivalent loss is going to be very, very, very similar. So I'm preferring at the moment exactly like this to obviously let trades just swing a bit, because it's really, really helping. But some of the guys, especially the ICT guys, have like a 2 or 3 pip, stop loss. So obviously you can naturally then trade quite high, lots. But obviously, you've only your room for error is very, very small. Even for example, this is a brilliant example, but AUD yesterday, even though this we obviously entered it, or the news didn't help us. What ends up happening because we got a nice healthy, stop loss. It come back. You if you'd have closed at the end of the day, you would have closed in a bit of profit. If you'd have held, you'd still be in profit, And so that's the beauty of having, especially if you're trading, trend. Yeah, if you think about it, this has got to break out of its trend, right? And this is one thing that I'm doing, I think, very, very well at the moment. So the reason we're not having, stop losses hit, right, is because trend has to change, right? And as long as I'm getting this macro outlook right in the, morning, then it will always, worst thing which is going to happen, which we've had a few times, you get consolidation. So pretty similar to obviously what AUD USD did yesterday. All right, that's been our worst case where even if you'd have held it, you would have come back to break even, So yeah. Does anyone have any more questions? Any more for any more? Happy to answer anything. Let's just have a quick look at GBP. I think that would have triggered. I have to check my account in a bit. GBP USD right on the button. That right on the button there. Perfect. What about euro? Euro, I don't think we're going to go. And gold, still struggling, isn't it? Just needs to break through this 50 EMA, and then we'll be all good. Um, yeah. So, yeah. Does anyone have any more questions? Any more for any more? Any more for any more? No? All right. Well, if there isn't any more, I'm going to end it now. Let's smash it. Appreciate obviously everyone in here. And yeah, let's make sure we have a really, really good last day of the week, and obviously, hopefully, yeah, everyone's making money. That's the main thing. I want to see some Christmas withdrawals from everyone. So have a good one. Oh, the copier is also smashing it. I think it closed out 3 trades in profit yesterday. So yeah, really, really happy. So I'll do an update on that a bit later on. Have a good one, guys.